So this problem deals with the conversion between Celsius and Kelvin, two different temperature units. Turns out these two are actually fairly similar to one another. They just have different points or different temperatures of reference. And so what I mean by that is that degrees Celsius, or the Celsius scale, it is based upon the boiling and freezing point of water. So for instance, we make the boiling and freezing point very convenient numbers on that Celsius scale. And indeed, the 0 point is the freezing point of water. The 100 degrees Celsius is the boiling point of water. Very nice, convenient numbers. The Kelvin scale is the same degree size. So 1 degree Kelvin and 1 degree Celsius are both the same thing. They're the same difference. So if we increase water by 1 degree Celsius, we would increase it by 1 degree Kelvin as well. The difference is that while Celsius is based on water, Kelvin is based on the temperature absolute zero, the temperature at which all motion, molecular motion, would cease and which gases would have zero volume. And so even though the degrees are the same, the temperature in Celsius and Kelvin would be different. Now that said, it's fairly easy to go back and forth between the two. The one thing that we do need to know to go back and forth between the two is what is this temperature that we call absolute zero? And indeed, it is minus 273.15 degrees Celsius. So 0 degrees Kelvin would be minus 273.15 degrees Celsius. Now, we can write this out as a mathematical formula where the temperature in Kelvin is equal to the temperature in Celsius plus 273.15 degrees. Notice this was that absolute zero. That's where that 273.15 comes from. And so what we're going to do in this problem is talking about water and the boiling point of water being 100 degrees Celsius. So we are going to be able to convert between that boiling temperature in Celsius and what it would be in Kelvin. So we're going to calculate what the temperature would be in Kelvin. We know that this is 100.00 degrees Celsius, and we're going to add 273.15 to that. When we do, we get the temperature in Kelvin to be 373.15 degrees Kelvin, or 373.15 Kelvin, you'll hear it called. I tend to add the degree in there, even though technically that's not necessarily correct. Now, if we wanted to go backward and we wanted to convert to the temperature in Celsius, we would just take the Kelvin and we would subtract 273.15. So if we take and we subtract 273.15 from that, we end up with our 100 degrees C. So going back and forth between these two temperature units is just as simple as being able to add or subtract 273.15 from the temperature, whether it be Kelvin or Celsius. That is the mathematics behind converting between these two temperature units. Something that everyone is going to be an expert at some point during the semester. This will become particularly useful when we get to the gas law chapter, where we will have to have our temperatures in Kelvin as opposed to in degrees Celsius.